原来靠。
All righty. So yes, well, let's say it, just to say it that also that the shift in America, time change next week, starting an hour later over there. In Australia, the same for now. Okay. First instruction, book 2 of A Course of Love, chapter 1. First instruction. A split mind does not learn, for a split mind is incapable of giving and receiving as one. Beautiful. Yeah. That's why it's so important to feel that part of us is the one that's the giving part. We give feelings. Yeah. A split mind does not rest, for it can find no peace. A state of peace is a prerequisite of giving and receiving as one. Wow, beautiful. Uh, any state other than that of peace is conflicted by the desire for peace. Wow. And the ways in which peace is seen as being approachable. Peace is seen as being outside of one's being, and the means are sought for the union of being with that which will provide peace. Knowing not what this is the source of conflict and of all seeking. No one seeks for what they already know how to find, and for what they are, for what they already believe they possess. While the book one, A Course of Love, has led you to a state of wholeness of mind and heart, or wholeheartedness, your realization of this state of being requires further guidance. Thus, this treatise will attempt to give specific examples of what to look for as your learning continues, and how to identify wholehearted responses from those of a split mind. Its further purpose will be to identify the service that you can provide once your wholeheartedness is completely realized. Comes your gift. Ah, the first instruction I give to you is to seek no more. Da, da, da. All that you are in need of knowing has been provided within a course of love. That your learning does not feel complete is not a failing of this course or of yourself. That your learning does not feel complete is the result of forgetfulness, which is the opposite of mindfulness. Further learning then Is learning based on mindfulness or remembering? Yummy. Mm. Wow. I'm on drugs now. I'm stoned. Like, whoa, this stuff gets me out of it. Anyone else feels it? That's
Mm.
that's the unity creeping in.
I love the idea of remembering. It's the opposite of efforting and trying and striving.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like, oh, I remember where my keys are. It's the same with creations, like, oh, I remember God. And once you find it, it's not difficult, is it? You go like, oh my God, that was the easiest thing. All I had to do is remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi, Alice. You're cornered. We are in a course of love this morning. Book 2, Treatises. First instruction, and now we're going to go 1.4. Beauty. Anyone else would like to begin to read?
I'll go.
Mm.
A course of love has provided you with what you need to know, which is the function of all coursework. This does not mean that you have acquired the ability to live what you have learned, only that you are ready to.
Mm-hmm.
The very word remember, as well as the concept of memory, implies mindfulness and the ability to reproduce or recall both what has been learned and what has been previously experienced. Mm. This reproducing and recollecting are acts of creation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. They do not bring back a reality that once was, but transform that reality into a present moment experience. It is in the present moment experience memory provides that truth rather than illusion can now be experienced and learned from.
Mm-hmm.
It is in the present moment experience that you will receive the blessing of being able to respond differently to love. All that you have experienced in truth is love. All that illusion provided you with was nothing. Thus, your first task, as you remember and re-experience, is that of separating illusion from the truth. This act will require no effort, for what you have learned in this course has prepared you for this. As each situation that reenacts the previous learning experience arises, you will, if you trust your heart, be perfectly able to identify illusion and truth. This is a simple act of recognizing meaning. All that you believe you learned from illusion will have no meaning to you now and will allow you to give up any remnants of false learning you acquired. All that you learned in error from identifying love incorrectly will be relearned as love is properly identified. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh,
Oh.
I feel a bit drugged up now too. Oh,
Mm.
who would like to go next?
Anthony, we can hear
I
you.
will.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was getting my
Right.
organ
My shit together.
pushing the right buttons. All right, no crying today. Woohoo.
Oh.
Although I have just instructed you to trust in your heart, your reunited mind and heart will now be called to act in unison. That a course of love instructed you little in the mechanics of the mind was consistent with the theme and learning goals of this course. The mechanics of the mind can be, in truth, be left behind now as we concentrate rather on the art of thought. The mechanics of the mind were what engaged you in so many daily battles that you became almost too wary to continue. The mechanics of the mind were what were in need of being overcome in order for you to listen once again to the wisdom of your heart. The mechanics of your overworked and overstimulated mind, oh my God, it sounds like it's me, were what you were asked to leave behind, as this act of leaving behind was the only means by which you could allow your mind to be restful enough for it to even contemplate union or the new learning required in order to facilitate your return to union. Your return to union is your return to love. And it is accessed at the center or heart of yourself. Mm. Your mind was in need of silencing in order for you to hear the wisdom of your heart and begin your return. Now, in order to complete your return, mind and heart must work as one.
Mm.
Amen.
Amen.
Mm.
Mm.
I still find my mind saying, now what does that look like?
Yes. Yes. And eventually it's just always coming back. And how's it look like? And also, how's it feel?
Mm.
Yeah, that was the instruction when we read last week, when we read in addendum, the instructions for flood. Great. And what's the feeling behind all that? And the feeling just comes. It doesn't need to be dug out or digged. It just comes suddenly, like just like that stone feeling comes in, just like, oh, we're drunk. Because we begin to magnetize with ourselves. There's no longer a separation, and that feels a little bit like a drug experience. I guess that's why people like drugs, because it kind of unites them for a moment.
It's addicting.
Very addictive.
Hmm.
It's explained in the next paragraph.
Someone else read?
Yeah, I'll go. If I can read it. You are a thinking being. This cannot be denied, nor should it be. Thus, a course that left you with an erroneous impression that relying on feeling alone would complete your learning would in actuality leave your learning incomplete. Without this treatise on the art of thought, too many of you become muddled in your feelings and know not where to turn to explain the many riddles they would seem at times to represent. A mind and heart joined in union abolishes the ego.
Yes.
The ego mind was what was once in charge of all your thoughts. Since the ego is incapable of learning, the ego mind had to be circumvented in order for true learning to take place. This is what A Course of Love accomplished. This learning was accomplished in you, making you the accomplished. As the accomplished, you now are able to access universal mind.
Mm.
The joy that will come to you from the thoughts of a mind joined in union will be unparalleled in your experience here. Ah, you will say with relief and joy that knows no bounds. This is what it is to experience and know the truth. This is what it is to create. For this is what it is like to think as God thinks. Where once you recognized only illusion and called it reality, the mind joined in union will now, more and more, recognize only truth and experience only only the truly real. And I'll finish it at the end.
Mm.
Hmm. You can already imagine what an extensive change this will bring. And as you are still experiencing change in time without guidance, this would be seen as quite difficult, no matter how grand its outcome, and even in spite of your recognition. At first, in mere fleeting moments, that it is a change you would welcome. Again, your willingness is called upon. Be willing now to apply the art of thought to the experience of truth.
Oh. Mm. Mhm. Mhm. So funny, no? It's not what you know, it is what you can let go of that you think. Just like the lesson this morning said, like let all the content of your mind go. Just saying the same thing. Think no more. What will life be like if this constant flow of thinking would be just silent. Mm-hmm. Who is next?
I'll read.
Go.
The Art of Thought. The closing pages of A Course of Love instructed you to think no more. A break in time was needed for you to disengage the ego mind that produced the type of thinking that needed to come to an end. This ending is but a beginning in truth and has led you to readiness to learn the art of thought. We identified much for you to leave behind within the pages of A Course of Love. These many things which seem so distinct and separate, and which range from fear to struggle to effect to control and protection, can all now be seen as the product of the thoughts of your ego mind. Ooh. To experience the truth and apply to that experience the thoughts of the ego mind, the same thoughts that were applied to former experiences of the truth, would be to respond to love the same way again. The questions you have asked concerning how love could be the answer when it has been preached by so many for so long is answered here. The answer lies in your response to love. To respond is to answer. You have sought your answer everywhere, but here is where it lies.
Mm-hmm.
It is yours to give and can only be given to love from love. Only in giving is it received.
Wow. Let's stop
I'll
right
stop.
there.
Yeah.
Only in giving. What? Doesn't say in giving, it says only in giving it is received. Only in giving is it received. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the difference is that the response comes from the heart, not from the mind.
Mm.
That's the art. Like, how does your heart feel? And what does your heart give? And that can only be felt. Because
Mm.
heart doesn't think like the mind does. Hmm. Okay, anyone else? Would you like to read? Annie, would you like to go?
Which one are we up to?
2.4.
Thus we have sought to uncover your source, to provide you access to your heart, from which all responses flow.
Mm-hmm.
As your heart is the source of your true self, your thoughts, once removed from those of the ego mind, are the expression and extension of your true self. They are the answer of the created to the creator, the answer of the self to God.
Mm.
Thoughts that were guarded by the ego mind were in need of being set free. Appealing to your heart was the means or cause of this freedom being accomplished in you. What was spoken of within A Course of Love as unlearning has begun and continues here. What was spoken of within A Course of Love as new learning has begun and continues here as well. The difference is that you are now ready to learn a new means of response to this unlearning and learning. That response is the art of thought.
Bam. That's it. Art of true response.
Shall I keep going?
Why not?
The so-called thinking of the ego mind was so tyrannical
Mm-hmm.
that its use throughout your lifetime deadened many of your feelings.
Right. Stop right there.
Mhm.
Right? Can you see that? Like, we think these thoughts actually are harmless. But they're actually not. They are attack upon the self because they separated thoughts. Right? And so the feelings are so deadened that they lost this true response. Yeah. So the only response we get is from the mind. So comes a question and comes an answer. But this is a different thing. This is like a true response. That might even appear to the mind as not very nice. And so we deny it because we say like, oh, that's not very nice. But sometimes the response is not very nice. And if we don't allow it, we just did not give a true response. Can you see that? So it's about allowing that true response, whatever it is. Yeah. you read that again, Annie, please?
The so-called thinking of the ego mind was so tyrannical that its use throughout your lifetime deadened many of your feelings.
Mm.
It led you so far from the truth that you no longer trust in it. It confused the smallest issues to such a degree that it left you unable to respond purely to anything. The so-called thinking of the ego mind could be likened to chit-chat, background noise, static. So little meaning did it have that all meaning became muddled. Your only recourse to this situation in the past was focus. You thus applied your thoughts to learning subjects of a specific nature. Through this focus, you believed you accomplished much. You congratulated yourself on having the discipline required to train your mind to focus and to learn, or shamed yourself when you are unable to do so. To those most skilled in this training of the ego mind, worldly rewards have long been given. These people attain degrees and skills and then further apply the discipline that they have learned by using their skills and knowledge in the world for even greater rewards. These rewards have further emphasized the importance of such focused thoughts and thus further entrenched the ego mind. To think that you could learn the truth of who you are through these same means was the fallacy that the early teaching of A Course of Love sought to dispel.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really telling us, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Mm-mm. Mm. Mm-mm. Next paragraph is just radical. Anyone?
Yes, I'd like to read.
Yes, please.
But again, as was stated often throughout the course of love, an alternative exists. It did not exist when you knew not of it, and so your attempts at learning have been valiant and are no cause for anxiety. But now this alternative is being revealed to you, and it does call for a change of thought so extensive that all thought as you once knew it does need to cease.
Wow, right there. What? Do that last sentence again.
But now this alternative is being revealed to you, and it does call for a change of thought so extensive that all thought as you once knew it does need to cease. You have already succeeded in learning in this new way once, or you would not be here now, or you would not be here. Yeah. You have already succeeded in learning in this new way once, or would not be here. This is your proof that you can do so again and again until the new way totally replaces the old and the art of thought leaves behind forever the need for what the ego mind once but seemed to offer you. The thoughts of your ego mind were ruled by the nature of the body. To exist as creatures whose only thoughts are of survival of the body is to exist in a lower order. Mm. The laws of the body have thus subjected you to conditions that invited the ego mind to turn its attention to existence in this lower order. It is only you who can recognize and invite the higher order or subject yourself to its conditions. It is only your attention to the existence of this higher order that will reveal its laws to you. These laws of God or the laws of love. The laws of God or the laws of love can be summarized by the simple statement of giving and receiving being one in truth. The implications of this statement are far broader than at first might seem indicated. All of these implications have been touched upon within a course of love. The most essential of these implications is that of relationship. Forgiving and receiving cannot occur without relationship.
Thanks, Dennis.
All relationship is but relationship between creator and created. The new means of thinking is referred to here as the art of thought. In order to call your wholehearted attention to the continual act of creation, that is the relationship between creator and created. Creation is but a dialogue to which you have not responded. Read that again. Creation is but a dialogue to which you have not responded. The art of thought will free you to respond. This response needs to at first be seen in two parts. An example illustrates: to look at a sunset is to see an object, the sun. It is also to see the sky, to see the variety of colors displayed, to see the horizon. It is to see the surrounding area, perhaps to see the play of clouds among the descending rays, perhaps to feel the warmth or chill of an evening. The whole experience might include the sound of birds or traffic, the rhythm of the ocean, or the pounding of your own heart. It might be a shared experience, one in which you share the feeling of awe inspired by this sight with one you love. It might be seen as you walk or drive, rake leaves, or gaze. Raking leaves is one of my favorite things. From an office window. It might be seen as you walk or drive, rake leaves, or gaze from an office window. It might be a deathbed vision, or the first sunset of which a young child is aware. It might be a scene totally for granted. It might be a scene taken totally for granted as you go about whatever business calls you at that hour. The sunset is a gift of God. It is what it is. This is the first part of this example. The second part is its reception. A gift has been given. What is your response? The sunset is part of your human experience. In the lower order of that experience, it speaks to your survival needs. It may signal many things, ranging from a desire to get safely home before it is dark, to a desire to eat an evening meal. It signals change in the natural world around you. Birds and squirrels and flowers, too, have a common reaction to the setting of the sun. They react to what is. This is their response. An altogether lovely response of created to creator. Is this a good place to stop? Yet to rise above this lower order of experience is to receive and to give back. First, the sunset is experienced for what it is. It is acknowledged. Is it a fact? It is a fact of your existence as a human being, a part of the natural world, a gift of the Creator. Secondly, it is experienced relationally. It speaks to you and you to it. It binds you to the natural world and to the present, but also to the higher world and the eternal. It binds you to all those who have and will experience the sunset by being a shared experience. It is there not for you alone, but in listening to its call for a response, it becomes a gift for you that is in no way diminished by it being a gift for all.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Someone else want to continue?
I'll read.
Thanks, Sam.
Finally, the sunset becomes, through your experience of it, an opportunity to apply the art of thought. Thus, there are the basic rules of the art of thought. First, to experience what is and to acknowledge what is both as a fact of your existence as a human being and as a gift of the Creator. Second, to acknowledge the relationship inherent in the experience, the call for response, and the nature of all gifts as being given to all. While this may seem somewhat elementary in relation to a sunset, its application to all areas of life will at first seem quite demanding. But what is elementary remains elementary once it is learned.
Mm-hmm.
To experience what is and to acknowledge what is, one must present as human being. No, I didn't read that right. To experience what is and to acknowledge what is, one must be present as a human being. To experience what is and to acknowledge what is as being a gift of God is to present as a divine being having a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
Is to be present as a divine being having a human experience.
Beautiful.
No part of being is negated. All senses and feelings of the human being are called into awareness, and yet there is also acknowledgement of the Creator behind the created. To acknowledge the relationship and the nature of the gift is to realize unity. To realize the call for a response is to hear the call to create like unto the Creator. This creating like unto the Creator may be used as a definition for the art of thought. Amen.
Amen. My God. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. What's your true response? Mm-hmm. You know how we taught from childhood, like, be nice to people, express like this, express like that, right? And sometimes we have all these responses bubbling up, but we don't give them. We judge them as no good. Yeah, let's say someone's talking to you more than you want to listen. What's your response? You're going to say, hey, this is not working for me. Those responses we don't give because we think they don't get accepted. When you actually get, like, what is really my true response? You will begin to sense it. And the minute you give it, you will enrich yourself because you did not deny that true response. And it is a felt, like he said, it's an experience. What's your experience? And how does the heart talk? Does heart have words? Yeah. So comes this response, huh? And in giving that response, we receive it.
I feel like I've got growing pains in my heart reading this.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes, you're getting in touch with them, right? And so just give it. It's like, hey guys, I've got these pains. This is my true response. My art of thought is right now to show that, as you just did. And how beautiful did it feel to the others, right? Can you see? It's like, oh, I see you, you know? And my response is what? Like, oh, oh, yeah.
I feel I haven't got a clue what creation actually is. What is that?
Mm. Yes.
So it's like in expressing your true response, that's a creating and giving of something.
Yes. That's the art of thought, is to give that true response. But like he said, you know, because so-called thinking of the ego mind was so tyrannical that it's used throughout your lifetime, deadened many of your feelings.
That was
So it's like
shocking.
this, yeah. And now what we're doing, we're reawakening these deadened feelings and bringing them, like you just said, Annie, like, oh, I've got this pain in my heart, right? It's like you're bringing this tyrannical, you know, that these attacks upon the self they're being kind of damaged, and we're going like, hey, here guys, here they are. They become visible. We make the feelings and how it makes us feel, make it visible. We no longer going like, hi guys, it's all good. God is, we are one. You're going like, hey, I got pain in my heart. And no big discussion, no fixing, not anything. It's just that. And it's like, thank you, you know? Like we're sharing that which has been maybe damaged so it can be healed, so it can be touched by love and acceptance of expressing it.
Yeah.
And it's actually the most hidden things in us when they are begin to be made visible. That's how they are given away.
It was also just a statement of what is.
Yes. Yes,
Like,
what is,
just
what's there.
clearly a statement of what is.
Yeah.
I have pain in my heart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
And he said, it led you so far from the truth that you no longer trust in it.
Mm.
It confused the smallest issue to such a degree that it left you unable to respond purely to anything.
Mm.
Instead of we rush into the head, or like the Course in Miracles says, the ego rushes in to establish its impotence. You know, the mind goes like, da, 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 let me describe what's going on. It's like, right, it again. So-called thinking of the ego mind could be likened to a chit-chat, background, noise, static.
Mm.
We're thinking we're saying something, it's just like garbage.
Mm.
And we respond to garbage with more garbage. No wonder the whole world is polluted, because it has to physically manifest somewhere. I mean, like the garbage of the thought, you can just turn on the news, or you can turn on the podcasts, and this is blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Multiplying illusions. Yeah.
I got hit by a garbage truck this last week of immense proportion. And to keep it simple and somewhat short, it had to do with family.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, like, wow, I had, just simply, I had somehow masked, like this says, my anger and stuff on the surface. And underneath was a lot of hurt and pain in that garbage truck. Yeah. And basically, a brother did just something. Nothing, nothing like, it was nothing big, but it was the catalyst for that truck to hit me, as we say, like a Mack truck. And gratefully so, I had a group of people, happen to be Course in Miracle people, who gathered around me, and like angels, like absolute embracing angels, and brought me through that. And actually, one of the three people pointed me to a YouTube talk on somebody that lifted my heart and spirit in such a way. Beautiful. that the underneath even my forgiveness, again, like another surface kind of forgiveness, came such immense joy.
Beautiful.
Like, yeah. And so I just feel so grateful. And this reading today showed me that the art of thought is what comes after to guide me now, which is, I don't hate brothers and sisters. There's none of that left, but it's about the forgetting of the incidences and bringing forth the joy that was brought to me. Like, I don't know, it just gave me such a freedom from all of that, that now I don't have to shut them out of my life completely. Like, it just gave it a whole different paradigm. And it feels like that's what this was saying too, was, after that is let go, that the thought will guide you, will guide those feelings of the heart going forward. And I mean, it was huge. It was earth shaking. Dump trucks crap
Mm.
was released. It
Mm.
was just wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah. And this reinforces it. So thank you all.
Mm. Beautiful. Anything else that was in the text that might have touched your heart?
Mm.
Mm.
Cole, is it okay if I ask a question or not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So, like, I often have a problem if I go in my head, and maybe that was always the way it was, but I didn't know, or maybe that would be new awareness, or maybe it's a change for me. But do you understand that?
Understand.
Like if I like go in my head to maybe join in something that's going on around me
Mhm.
that's maybe functioning in a different way, I just get in a pickle. I think I'm living here.
Mm.
I don't really know how to explain.
Well, mainly is to not condemn it, that. Not condemn
It
it.
isn't.
Is there a condemnation there somewhere?
It's more I just like to understand. I like to have no words. It's quite enjoyable. Thank you.
Mm. It's always like, how does it make you feel? All of that, and what's the feeling underneath it? Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
And that is right there is your true response, huh?
Mm. Mm.
Because we're so accustomed to disappear into this, like, eyes actually tell us a lot. Is every time you go into this realm, your eyes are searching in the libraries of your mind. But going up there disconnects from what's underneath it. Yeah, because a feeling is definitely not that way, is it? So even if in the physical reality, it's more like this way. And as soon as I ask you how you feel, your eyes went down and you're connecting to that which arises in you.
Mm.
And that's that movement eventually just lifts us from the bottom up. Like even in the nature, everything grows up and out. Flowers come up and fully open all the way down to their seeds. They have opened their genitals virtually, right? Everything goes up and out. The human being rises up and goes, pushes it all down, and then it's left with this. But it's incomplete. It doesn't take the roots, disconnects from the roots, just disconnects from the source.
Mm.
And when you pull the plant out of the ground, it withers. So these thoughts that's gone up, they just withered because they're disconnected. And more we're disconnected from the feeling, the more the mind rambles. As we reconnect to their true self, we heal the feelings that have been so deadened by the attack, constant attack upon them. They will bring up the ground where we'll seize these thought patterns from the static, from the constant noise. Because when you truly feel, when you have in touch with your real feelings, you can't think. You're back in the experience. And then that's what you're giving, and as you're giving it, that's how you receive it. That's how you have it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So there's a distinction between thought and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's called the art of thought, not the art of thinking.
Yes.
Mm.
It's just that, like, it's almost like the first there was a word and the word became flesh. That flesh is lost being that. You know, it's just remain as a thought, but not as an experience.
Mm.
So now we're waiting for a bit longer instead of running with the answer. We're going to more like, and how does that really feel? And we step back and we let the feeling inform us. We don't go into the feeling with the past and have a good look around and then go like, aha, I can see something familiar. We step back and we're getting revelation of what is there already. Like you are the accomplished hasn't had a chance yet to show itself. So we look like we're searching, like that says in the first chapter, we search for peace as if it was somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thoughts, the art of thought is what comes from that. So it's not a process of thinking, it's just
no,
a thought that is sort of like born.
Yeah, it's like
out of that.
thought with the capital T.
Right, okay.
Like the wow moment. We just go like, whoa, you know, when you get some amazing inspiration, that's when you connected it to the feeling and the feeling just went boom, kaboom. Yeah. All these courses actually courses in feeling, because a true response comes from the truth of your response, often ungiven. And when you don't give it, you choke on it. Yeah. Makes sense.
So I want to ask, so basically, if you're experiencing, let's say, pain in the heart or whatever pain, just like experiencing it is basically it's giving it.
Yes. And particularly if you share, it's like, hey guys, I've got pain here. And it's like Jesus says, you know, your burden is my light. So like I can't see the pain. I can only see the light behind the pain, just like the seeing the miracle behind everything. It's like if you see with these eyes, you see pain. When you see it with vision, which is your heart, you can't see anything else except everything is just reduced love. And as it is expressed, the love returns. So love returns to love. I just want to share a really beautiful news. As we were reading, I got an email. It's just and it's the Czechoslovakian or Czech official translator of A Course of Love sent me the introduction and a preludium in Czech, as it is going to be officially translated into Czech language.
Oh,
So I'm like, send it to me for proofreading. So we're actually officially now translating A Course of Love into Czech language.
Wonderful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm.
like, yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you. Thank you for giving us your joy.
Exactly. See, it's like you feel it, right?
Yeah.
but it would be a lovely experience reading it in your own language, like your first language,
It's
wouldn't it?
incredible.
Mm.
Actually, I was just sending a message to somebody. I was in tears. I'm going because see, English is my second language, and I'm
Mm.
hearing this chorus in such a beautiful way. But when I hear it in Slovakian, it's almost like the things I can't get because I wasn't born with English around me.
Mm.
Suddenly, I'm hearing it in my language, and it's just gives something that
You'll
is.
be able to feel it, like
Say it
feel
again.
that. You'll be able to feel it more, I think, because
Yes.
your heart
But
is
it
in that
also
language.
says it in a way that I could
Mm.
not hear it before. So it's just coming
Mm.
from such perspective that I can
Mm.
cellularly, because our language is so embedded in ourselves, in our whole system. And suddenly that begins to reverberate on that kind of like, it's just coming
Mm.
from like, I can feel it in my little toe, it's like, anyway, I just wanted to share the good news.
Yeah.
Um, to have
So
that this is
true.
actually happening.
It just shows us the limitation of words to express something.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is weird
Exactly.
about language. Yeah.
And so what happens is like, let's say you have a profound experience, and instead of going like da 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 da, which usually reduces it into the perceptual realm, what becomes really apparent more and more that whoever is sharing that experience will more like throw in the whole experience into you as
Mm.
it.
Mm.
So you go like, the other day somebody said, Cole, guess what? And all I heard was, Cole, guess what? And then the whole experience went woo into me. And I just went, wow, that's amazing. And the person didn't even start talking about what he was about to say, right?
Mm.
I already got it. And then it was
Mm.
just like ding, 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 couple of words that refined it, put it into description of specificity of it, but the actual experience, and that's the true communication there. Instead of us explaining how we are, we'll just go, hello, and you go, oh,
Yeah. The explanation is like an anticlimax, isn't it?
yes. And I do this in my men's group, and we tried it maybe here a few times, where we we do check-in by sound.
Yes.
Like, how are you? And person goes like, oh. And in that tonality, we all go like, wow, you know? And then he says the few words and we go like, good, like it's more defined, but the actual sound gives us vibration, gives us so much more information instantaneously
Yes.
and much more thoroughly than we would ever believe was possible.
That
Mm.
reminds me, my last relationship, his father was Polish, so I think maybe that might have been his first language, I'm not sure. But when he talked to me in Polish, I had no idea what he was saying, but boy, could I feel it. Like
Right?
it was amazing. Yeah.
Yes, because you could not use your mind. The only
No.
thing you were left was like, what's the experience of how does this feel, right? And there you go, look at your smile and
It
you're like,
was better than knowing what the words meant, actually. Yeah.
yes, well, isn't it
Yeah.
like that? You sometimes see something and then they start talking and you go like, is that all it is? You know?
Oh, so words are thinking,
Oh.
and the energy of the heart is the
Direct.
energy of it.
Mm.
It's like, because we think God thinks, and people think like the voice for God is some kind of stupid sentence that's gonna like reveal truth to you. But it's not so. It's that comes this experience of unspeakable love. That's the voice of God. You feel so much love, you almost can't bear it. And if there is any function in here, just to get used to being that same message that was received through this exquisite expression of God's love, just far beyond evaluation, human evaluation.
And yeah, it's like it can only be experienced in that moment, and it can't be recorded or written down, or like you can't, like that's it. That's the totality of it. Yeah.
And funny enough, it's in that, like Course in Miracles says it beautiful, it's like when you're willing to hide nothing, right? When you're willing to bring, like I said it once before, I think, like, imagine of something that you would find like there's no way you could talk about it here because it's too private. There's that very thing puts a protection in. Go like,
Yes.
we come here, but we don't go past that. So now, I'm not going to ask you to say it. I want you to think of something you find really difficult to share here about yourself. Can you see where you're going?
Yes.
You go a different place than your head right now, right?
I just went into fear.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. But yes, you go into some different place, and it's not about saying what it is. It's just about going to that place which already brings in that different level of connection that we can create.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Even that fear is like, just showing that fear, like, oh God, I don't think I could, guys, tell you. You're connected to something that's usually hidden. And it's like, when you're willing to hide nothing, even the fact that you're hiding is already being revealed. It's already feels safer, because we all have some things we would find very difficult to communicate. But those are the things that eventually will come to a point where we can share them and realize that freed us completely.
Yes, absolutely.
So when you're willing to hide nothing, you are not only willing to enter into communion, which is like we unite suddenly, but in that is the true peace and love is revealed. But it's not going to be painful. That's the difference. Because we think like, if I say this, that would be so painful. What if people don't understand me? What if people judge me in this very vulnerable place of mine? Eventually, it won't be like that. It will be just shown, and you'll go like, oh my God, how come this feels so incredible? So that's the art of thought, where we reveal that which is normally never gets a response. The art of true response, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, darlings, thank
you.
you.
You're on mute, yeah.
Sorry, I'd just like to acknowledge Patricia's cat. I've really enjoyed your cat's presence, and cats are very much on the feeling realm. I feel your cat taking it in and giving it back.
Her name is Diva.
Diva. Yeah, hello, Diva.
She loves coming to this.
I can tell.
Yeah.
An old soul.
Okay. So just before we finish, let's remind everyone that it's gonna be the time change, yeah?
Yeah.
So next
Woohoo!
week, you guys are in a different time zone. Not all of you, not in England, only in America, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We Americans always want our own zone.
Yeah, so
Maybe,
it'll be an hour later for the.
maybe zone and maybe zone out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask Leanne? You started, Leanne. You joined us an hour after we started. I'm not sure if you got the time right. Yeah, you knew. Yeah,
Yeah,
So
I was just late.
that's all right. Yeah, sometimes people the wrong time.
what time is it where you are? I just want to know the time zone.
6 o'clock
What
right here, New Hampshire.
Oh, how about what time?
6 o'clock here in Indiana.
How about
In Melbourne, yeah, it's nearly 10
it-
o'clock, 10 a.m.
10
It's
a.m.
coming up to 10
It's
a.m.
10 a.m. now?
Pretty much. Yeah, yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so 10 a.m.
So, Leanne, if you come the same time next week, you'll be on time.
I just my phone
Johnny
does
must
it
have
all.
11 now, yeah?
What's that?
My phone will tell me everything. Like always change time and all. So and the alarms will go off and the right time. So
Well, Kevin, you're gonna change the when you hide what you send, you're gonna change it there.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, brother. All right, guys.
Sydney.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin.
Kevin, do you send out an email? I'll put my email in the chat.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. That was amazing.
Guys.
Very
Yeah.
helpful. You're so gorgeous. So much love.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Thank
It's
You.
dinner time.
Oh.
you all very soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kevin, send me an email too about the time changes because I get confused.
Yeah, yours isn't yet. Yours is later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Ciao.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Choco.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Well,